What's up, y'all? This is Deontay with Deontay's Reviews. Make sure you comment, like, text, share, and subscribe. So this is another edition of Down in the Comments. That's right, Down in the Comments. And this is a video that you don't want to miss anytime I do Down in the Comments, because you never know. Your comment might be the one I pull, that I respond to, that I read, and even go more in detail and dialogue about the Kountry Wayne skits. All right, so down in the comments, I choose anywhere from 10 to about 13 comments of any given video, and I address them good, bad, or indifferent, agree, disagree, or what have you. So these set of comments come from a video, an impromptu video I did today that stated something around Amber will regret keeping Kai. And this is coming, that video came after Shayla came back to drop Kai's bag off. She guilt tripped them, talking about she was gonna get a nanny, and Amber spoke up in the middle of the conversation and said, "We'll keep Kai. We'll be, you know, we'll be your on-demand maid and on-demand not maid, but on-demand babysitter anytime you want one." All right, so let's get into it. The first comment comes from Diane Love 84. And Diane says, "I truly believe that Kai is going to be living with the Daltons permanently in the future." That is something I also said. I don't know if y'all remember months ago, I said that I can see Kai staying with them long term. Especially as we came upon this Iman situation, I think Shayla's going to crash out. We thought Amber crashed out when Anthony was sleeping with Shayla, but Shayla's not going to be able to have a dose of her own medicine and be able to take it. Like, she's going to really, really, really struggle with it. And I've always said that Amber can give Kai way more than Shayla could. She'll be able to show up for him, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, with wisdom, and pour so much into Kai that Shayla can't, because Shayla's mindset about her own life and life in general is just so far off. Like, her thought process about life is so skewed. And so I never really thought that, what is she going to be able to give to Kai? Nothing other than the rights in reality that she slept with another woman's husband, and that's how he got here. You know, and her claim to fame is being a baby mama to a rich man. Like, Shayla has no kind of spiritual endowment of any kind to be able to give the Kai. No, her mental space ain't even in the right space. Like, just think about how she chasing behind a man that told her to her face that he don't want her. So, you know, it's not, and she don't even spend time with the boy. So I do believe, especially if and when Shayla finds out about Iman, she gonna crash out to it. She ain't gonna be able to focus on Kai. And I think Amber is going to say, "Hey, we need to take Kai because Shayla's not okay," whenever they find out what's going on. But thank you for your comment, Diane. Our next comment comes from Lisa March, 2768. And Lisa says, "Time will tell. There's so much drama. They can still take Kai on vacation. Amber can't win." Listen, so yes, they can take Kai on a vacation. But I think what we're missing here is Amber wanted a one-on-one husband and wife vacation because they never had one. And so for her, he took Shayla to Jamaica, hopped on a plane all the way to Jamaica, posted it, blasted it on social media. Amber got nothing. You know what I'm saying? As far as Amber can't win, I think that's Amber's fault. Because like I've always said, you know, it's her fault that she's not winning, because she took this man back and did not require anything different. Did not require him to show up different. Did not require a clear understanding in terms of what his co-parenting plan was going to be with Shayla. She took him back because she didn't want to be lonely. She didn't want Shayla to win. And so when Shayla does these little things like popping up, dropping the baby off, I mean, that's her fault. It's really nobody's own fault but Amber's as to why Amber's not winning. Because in my humble opinion, Amber is settling for this lifestyle. You know, I mean, wanting the lifestyle of glitz and glam and being with a man that's very wealthy, but that man has no discipline, no boundaries. I mean, you kind of get what you settle for. So I think that's why Amber's not winning. But thank you, Lisa, for your comment. Our next comment comes from Oren Faust 9621. I hope I'm saying that right. Right. And Oren says, no, Amber is building a case against Shayla because they always keep him. When Shayla calls out Amber, when Shayla calls out, Amber stand in as a stepmother to save the day. As it relates to building a case, I don't even think Amber's thinking about building no case. If you notice, they're really trying to stay away from any conversations about court. It's almost like they have an allergic reaction to going to court, getting, visitation, custody arrangements. The only time they went to court was for the name change, and you see how quick and swiftly they did that. We got a skit randomly one day saying they was going to court, and then the next skit they was done with court and it was outside the courtroom. So I don't think they really want to go into, any kind of skits or do anything as it relates to having court proceedings, because I think they've tried so hard to do away with the narratives amongst the reviewers and the fans about the issue of Kai actually being Anthony's son. I think they were trying to move the storyline along, but the only way they could do that was to put the whole court stuff to rest. And I don't think Amber, it's very amazing though that these people are rich folk, but they don't utilize the court to their advantage. Like most rich people will have lawyers on deck, ask legal questions, get the court involved to make sure they always have the upper hand. It's not so in this storyline, and it doesn't make sense. And that's not realistic, especially when you got a woman like Shayla who got a baby by a very rich and wealthy man. Most times, especially when he knows she ain't got nothing, a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, he gonna make sure he get the upper hand, but he hasn't. And so that's the crazy thing. I don't think they even trying to get the court involved. So, I mean, that's the thing in my opinion. But thank you for your comment. All right, Trinity Love 152. And Trinity, y'all see that star? Trinity is one of my members. And Trinity says, we need to look at the big picture. Shady thinks she's getting over on the Daltons. But could it be Shady got a date with her karma in LA? This will backfire on Shady. This can also be a setup for getting custody of Kai. Keep a paper trail, Amber. Now, here's the thing. I would hope to believe that Amber is keeping a paper trail, or she would eventually tell her husband to keep a paper trail. But like I said in the last comment, they haven't really been talking about custody, court arrangements, none of that stuff. Like, they've been staying so far away from it. And yes, I agree. The big picture is, could it be that Shayla has a date with Carmen in LA? I agree. And I think that we should stay out of God's way. And if this is God's design for her to get what's coming to her, then so be it. You know what I mean? There's a scripture that says Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good. So even this little bit of inconvenience can work for the good. Okay, for Shayla to experience what the Lord may trying to get her to experience, because Shayla has had no remorse whatsoever. She's played the victim, and she thinks everybody owes her something. Okay, and she's had multiple times, about a year. December 26th will be a year since she has been caught in the bed with Anthony. It was the day after Christmas. And for almost a year, just about, she has not changed her tune or her tone. And she's been going around, prancing around, feeling entitled. I'm Anthony's baby mama, and I deserve to live the same lifestyle that Amber lives. And he left his family, which is me and Kai, to go back to his wife. Like, stuff that don't make no sense. And sometimes God will give you chance after chance to get yourself together. That's why scripture says his grace is sufficient. It's enough so you can get yourself together. But there comes a time when God's grace runs out, because eventually he'll turn you over to a reprobate mind. And he'll let the consequences just gush out the way they need to come for you to understand. And sometimes that's what it takes. And I think Shayla does have a date with karma, as some people will say. Shayla has a date with the reality that she got to reap what she's sown. And if you notice, all the stuff she's doing to Amber is happening to her. How she was playing in Amber's face, Delicia is now playing in her face. So a lot of stuff that she did is happening right under her nose, and she don't realize it. But thank you, Trinity, for your comment. Our next comment comes from C. Wiggins 2535. Now, here's the thing. C. Wiggins said, if Anthony finally said no, Why would you go against your husband in front of the enemy? That's a good point. That's how she got your man. Pure divide and conquer. If Shady wants it, she'll manipulate whoever. Yeah. So that is a good point. It's interesting because Amber would always, complain about Anthony not putting his foot down with Shayla. She can do anything. She gets anything she wants. And the one moment today where he was finally standing 10 toes down and saying no, lo and behold, Amber comes down the steps feeling guilty and feeling soft because of the whole babysitter comment. But here's the thing. Let's be honest and let's be real. Shayla ain't got no job. And I don't think Shayla would have really gotten a babysitter, a random babysitter. She just knows what to say to get them to move. When it comes to Anthony and Amber, Shayla knows how to play chess. I think that's the thing about it all. She knows how to say things to trigger them, to get them to do exactly what she wants them to do. You know what I'm saying? Because all she would do if they would have said no, she would have turned the volume up, walking out the door, making them feel even worse. She knows how to get under their skin, and that's the thing about it. You know what I'm saying? But she would have convinced her mama, or if it came down to it, Zachary. But I think the writers are doing this for a reason, so she can be child free to go and experience, hopefully, what she needs to experience in LA. But thank you for your comment, C. All right, our next comment comes from Casey May 21, and Casey says, "No, she should just take the baby with them, make it a family trip. Like, let's be real, go and be a little family, get away. I'm sure Shayla would start keeping him herself." Especially if they put pictures on social media and make it seem like they are this one big happy family, and she's seeing another woman like, Amber, all loving and kissing on Kai, and Kai's being well taken care of. Maybe she'll start keeping them. But see, Shayla's so tunnel vision and focused right now about Iman. She don't care about nothing. That's the only thing that's in her sight is Iman. Kai is a second thought. Kai is an afterthought. Maybe if Shayla was a little mature, she probably would see social media stuff like that and then keep Kai herself. But Shayla's very immature. She only thinks about a man. But thank you, Casey, for your comment. Our next comment comes from LaShaw. I hope I'm saying it right. LaShaw Price. Nope. The Shayla that dropped Kai off will not be the Shayla that returns. Do not think you are giving Amber enough credit. Keep watching. Actually, think you should rewatch it. Well, I think here's the thing. I can rewatch it all day long and still have the same perspective, which I do. Here's the thing. I think she will end up regretting it because we know how Amber functions. She's going to regret. I think she might not say it, but here's the thing. What Amber it probably is going to do 9 times out of 10. Later on down the line, whether Shayla finds out about Delisa or Iman or not, right? Today created, I think, in my humblest of opinions, today created a precedence that Shayla can just come and drop him off anytime she feels like it. And if you look at Shayla when after Amber said we'll keep him, she was like, oh, it was almost like a look as, now I know which one got a soft spot. If I just say certain things, they're going to say, oh, no, keep him here. She probably thought it was going to be Anthony because that's his son and all of this and all that, and she's always talked about him not being a good dad and all of this, a deadbeat. But she know all she got to do is say certain things to Amber and she going to get what she wants. And so my thing, I'm straightforward with how I feel. It's going to come a time where Amber going to feel overwhelmed maybe and going to want to spend some one-on-one time with Anthony and do all of these things. But she's not going to be able to do it because they're going to always have Kai. Because Shayla is now comfortable with just dropping him off at the very last minute. Like they could be walking out the door and Shayla just pulls up and drop him off because they done created a precedence for that. So she just was talking yesterday randomly out of nowhere that she wants to do a vacation and was making him say, let's go this weekend. They can't even go now. So who's to say there may be very well more instances down the line where Amber may want to do something, but they can't because Shayla's going to be dropping off. And then what's she going to say? Oh, Shayla can just do anything. Well, no, you set this precedence. The man told her no, right? You should have just let that be that. And then y'all talk about it later. Hash out your rationales as to why you might have wanted to keep Kai. and listen to him to say why he might not want it to keep Kai for that week or whatever the case may be. But I'm very clear, in terms of where I sit with it. But thank you, LaShawn, for your comment. Next comment comes from Ms. Mocha 411. And Ms. Mocha says Shayla has nothing else to do but take care of her son. She made the decision to have that baby. Now she's complaining. I don't think Shayla really wanted to be, a mother. I don't think she wanted to be a mother. I think she, she thought it would be cute. I think she thought that, if I have a baby with Anthony, then he'll leave his wife. She likes the benefits of having a baby by Anthony, but she doesn't want the responsibility of being Kai's mama. And I think that's what that boils down to. Like, she always throws him on anybody so she can go run the streets. You chasing behind a man, but your child was sick the last couple of days, and you didn't even call to check on him. At the party, we got no skit to that. You was running behind Iman, and here you are about to go cross country to chase behind Iman yet again, And so it's just little things like that just like, Shayla, go on somewhere and sit down, But but she I guess she thought having a baby, and mind you, let's remember that Anthony wanted her to get an abortion, but she didn't. And I think part of the reason why she didn't was because she thought that was going to be her way of tying him forever to her. And now she's seeing how things played out way different than what she planned. And, that's kind of where it is. But thank you, Ms. Mocha, for your comment. All right, our next comment comes from XX Kadodo 56-J8Q. And Kadodo says, give this storyline a break. It's getting old. Shayla is still on top. I share some sentiments with you. Can we get a break with the way that this is going? But I think that there's a bigger picture. If we, kind of step back, they're building this up for Shayla to get what's coming to her. Okay? For the first time in a long time, or probably for the first time ever, we are seeing somebody in so many ways getting to the point where they get ready to beat Shayla at her own game, which is Delicia. And so they're slow walking it. They're putting this story in the crock pot, and it's slow cooking. And I think it's coming, and I know it's frustrating to see these little moments. But if we look at the bigger picture, she's chasing behind a man, but what she's really doing, unbeknownst to her, is she's chasing and hurrying herself up to see the biggest disappointment and the biggest hurt she could probably ever get thus far in these skits. And while it looks like Shayla is on top, Shayla's miserable. Shayla's lonely. Shayla's plotting and planning when she could be plotting and planning to get her life together. And so she's so distracted by carnal stuff that she's not even productive here on earth. But I thank you for your comment. Two more comments left. One, the second to last one says, and this one comes from Nina 11291. And Nina says, why everybody is talking like she did something wrong? I guess she's talking about Amber. Amber is a woman of God, and when you there, you leave everything on his hands and keep doing good. Amber speaks for Kai, and I agree with her. Shayla can play and do what she wants on her face, but what Shayla does not know is no one plays with the daughter of the Almighty. Now, see, okay, so I hear what you're saying, and I get where it's coming from. And here's the thing, though. There's the flip side to this. You can't check your husband and bash your husband for not putting boundaries in place when it comes to his baby mama. And then when he does it, then you want to step in and interject and then show to the enemy that y'all ain't on the same page. Prior to Amber even coming in the picture that day, he had told her no. When Shayla came back, he asked her, did you find a babysitter? And so I think Amber probably should have just let it play out. But I mean, they should know Shayla at this point where here's the thing, Shayla's not going to find no babysitter. Shayla has no intentions of finding a babysitter. So I don't think it's really, I never really took her serious that she would find a babysitter. Because she's not. She don't want nobody, just anybody. She's just trying to say what she needs to say to get them to move so she can hop on that plane to LA. You know what I'm saying? And she knows how to play on them. She knows how to play them like a fiddle. She knows how to manipulate the situation like a fiddle. Now, I mean, I understand, yes, there's that motherly instinct in Amber that says, no, don't send Kai that way. You know, don't send Kai to just anybody. But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, there's been moments where you just gotta say no. No, like, no, you don't have a job. Where are you going? He still never got that answer out of her. Where are you going? Like, you know what I'm saying? They know Shayla. They know Shayla is not a productive person. They know Shayla ain't got a job. So what are you doing with yourself that you need a whole week inconvenience me unnecessarily? Now, it's fine if you drop him off every day, whatever, for Amber to watch while I'm making moves and shaking or whatever. But you just at the last minute expecting me to do something that you want me to do, and then you bashing me and calling me a bad father, talking about my parenting skills as a dad because I tell you no. Not because I don't love my son, but because you can't just come in my life and just try to dictate my schedule because you out here trying to do God knows what. I can see if Shayla was on her stuff, but she's not. You know what I'm saying? So I think while I understand it, but there's other pieces to this that we have to see and being mindful of, you know. And here's the thing: at the end of the day, yes, Amber may be a child of God, but we also got to use discernment. And sometimes we got to put our emotions on the back burner. You a mother. You know, Shayla, you a mother. You gotta, that means everything ain't gonna work in your favor. What that means is, as a parent, as a mom, that means there's gonna be moments in time where you can't do what you want to do because you gotta sit at home with your child because you don't have anybody to watch your child. That happens to me and my wife all the time. That may be something that we want to do, but we don't have nobody to watch our younger kids who can't stay in the house by themselves. And we gotta make sacrifices and decisions. But Shayla doesn't know how. Shayla knows how to guilt people when she can't get her way. So I think that's the bigger issue there. But thank you so much, Nita, for your comment. Last comment. This is from one of my moderators on here at Deontay's Reviews, JDub133. And we know, for those that have been around Deontay's Reviews for any point in time, JDub is a Shayla lover. J-Dub is a Shayla sympathizer. Oh, but the Lord is touching J-Dub. The Lord is touching J-Dub because J-Dub is getting frustrated with Shayla right now. But J-Dub says the only way to look at it is that she made Amber look like a fool again. Possibly, J-Dub, possibly. Because I think Shayla knows in the back of her head, got him again. Shayla ain't thinking about them no more. Shayla about to hop on that plane and go on to LA. And she going to get her man. Well, that's all the time we got for today for this segment of Down in the Comments. Do me a favor, like, tag, comment, share, subscribe, and put the comments in the comment section because you never know when I might do another Down in the Comment section. Your comment just might be juicy, but I got to pull it and address it. Deontay with Deontay's Reviews. Like, tag, comment, share, subscribe. We out.